6 months ago, I cut my gym time in half and decided to adopt a new training style that not only has helped me build more muscle and get into the best shape of my life, it's also helped me live a life outside of the gym. So I'll tell you why I did it, how I did it, and the pros and cons that came after making the decision. So around about 8-ish months ago, I used to spend 14 hours in the gym per week. When I say in the gym, I don't mean in the gym on the treadmill, in the gym talking to people. 14 hours of lifting time per week. Now, don't get me wrong, activity and exercise changed my fucking life. And there's no downplaying that, there's no changing that. It's great. It's just that too much of anything can be a bad thing, correct? Now, unless you're trying to be a bodybuilder or a bikini competitor, I just don't see the point in spending that much time in the gym per week. Now, I don't know about you, but my goal was never to wear Speedos and pose in front of a bunch of people on stage. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, it just wasn't my goal. But with me spending 14 hours per week in the gym, I just didn't have much time or energy left to do a lot of other things that I was interested in. Like I said, this was 8-ish months ago, so it took me 2 months of just contemplating, weighing out the pros and the cons before I even made the decision to cut my gym time in half. And what really pushed me over the edge was, if your goal isn't to be a bodybuilder, then spending 14 hours per week in the gym is just excessive. Full stop, no debate. 14 hours is way too much time for anyone who doesn't want to make money off of their physiques. And I don't want to do that, and I'm assuming you don't want to do that either. So I decided to cut my gym time in half. So you've got my why for cutting my gym time in half, which can pretty much just be summed up to my priorities change. That's actually a very good summary of why I decided to cut my gym time in half. Now, here's how I did it. The first and most important thing you've got to do if you want to spend less time in the gym is change your mindset about the gym and your approach as a whole. That means that you are going to think of every minute that you spend in the gym as precious time that you want to squeeze all the juice out of. So we're not going to spend time in the gym chatting to our friends. We're not going to spend time in the gym scrolling on our phones. We're in the gym to get shit done. That's it. And there's going to be fucking little high schoolers that are going to be like, whoa, bro, you're like only spending like 45 minutes in the gym. Oh my God, that's not enough time. You're not doing 52 sets of bench press. You're never going to build a big chest. Fuck them. There's a reason they're high schoolers. They don't know what it's like to have a life outside of the gym and have anything else to do other than fucking algebra homework. Fuck them. They don't get it. We do. And when they grow up, they will too. The second thing that really helped me reduce my gym time without, hindering my progress was training smart. Now, part of this has to do with my mindset. Now that I knew that I wasn't just in the gym for a long time, I was there for lesser time, and therefore I had to make more out of that time. I knew that just moving weight around with no purpose in my mind was just not gonna slide. So I had to improve my form and I had to increase my intensity. Okay, so I told you why I did it and how I did it. Now I'm gonna tell you the pros that came after I decided to cut my gym time in half. The biggest pro that came after I cut my gym time in half by far was the birth of all of this. I literally, like this channel and then the business that I created where I help busy people build their dream bodies without spending hours in the gym or giving up their favorite foods. Just that one pro alone made the decision so worth it. You can't even imagine what I've heard, like the things that I've heard from these people, like, oh my God, bro, like your videos are life-changing. Oh my God, this advice is life-changing. Oh my God, I finally fit into my clothes now. I've lost 10 pounds, 20 pounds. It's one thing to make progress on your own body and, fitness. Again, I'm playing like a broken record, but fitness really did change my life. It's one thing to change your own life, and then it's a completely different feeling when you change other people's lives. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't cut my gym time in half. And this leads me to my second pro. If after cutting my gym time in half, I had 6 to maybe even 8 hours per week. Just take the number in the middle, right? Let's say I had on average 7 hours per week. Okay, 7 times 52 weeks per year, 364 extra hours per year. You can dedicate that time to getting good at so much other stuff. You could literally, if nothing else, you could just spend more time with your family, spend more time with your wife slash, or your girlfriend or whatever it is, or your husband or your boyfriend, whatever it may be. Those hours you can dedicate to doing other stuff. And guess what? Provided that you have the right mindset and you're training smart, you'll still be in fantastic shape. Here's a few photos of me literally from yesterday. I didn't lose size, I didn't lose muscle, I didn't just become, lose all conditioning and let myself go. If anything, I'd argue that I got into better shape. The final pro that I experienced from cutting my gym time in half was that I actually started enjoying training again. It didn't feel like a chore anymore. You've got to understand, 14 hours of lifting per week is exhaustive, especially if you're training. Well, I wasn't training hard per se, but I was still training with some intensity. Not training as hard as I am now, just 14 hours of anything will make you feel exhausted. But it got to a point where training just felt like a chore, and I was just using the David Goggins mindset, like, discipline, bro, go to the gym and lift, like, come on. But I honestly felt burnt out. But once I cut my gym time in half, it's almost like my love for the gym was reignited. Now, whenever I go to the gym, I'm almost excited to go, and I'm almost always happy to be there. Now that we've talked about the pros, let's talk about the cons. The only con that I experienced after cutting my gym time in half was, and it sounds weird for a lot of you, but some of you will get me, but I had a massive identity crisis for the first 2 months where I cut my gym time in half. And the reason for that was because so much of my sense of self-worth was attached to this time that I was spending in the gym. And so my thought process was, bro, I need to be in the gym, because this was before I had the business. So the gym was the only time where I felt productive. But once I started utilizing those hours again, how many hours was it again? Let me check. Yeah. Once I started utilizing those 364 hours per year towards other activities, everything changed. I didn't feel guilty about spending less time in the gym because I was making more progress than I made before. I was in better shape than I was in before. And I could also do other stuff that I really cared about. To be honest, as of now, I care about this way more than I do about my progress in the gym. Yeah, I care more about the progress of the people that I train than I do about my own progress. And the thing is, for me, it was spending more time working on the business. For you, it could be spending more time with your family, more time with your spouse, actually trying to, work overtime at that office, trying to get that promotion. Either way, you can be in fantastic shape by spending less time in the gym, and you have more time to dedicate towards other goals.